My name is Emma. I'm 28 years old. I work in the general affairs department of a relatively large trading company. My boyfriend is Bob. He's a senior from my college club, 2 years older than me, and we've been dating for 8 years. About 4 to 5 years ago, we started thinking about marriage, and both of us began saving money for it bit by bit. Then, on my birthday this year, he finally proposed to me. I had this girlish fantasy where he would snap his fingers in a fancy restaurant, enjoying a delicious meal and wine, and a waiter would nod, dim the lights. A spotlight would then shine on our table alone, and he would take a small box from his inner pocket and gently open it. But in reality, it happened during one of our camping trips, which aligns with our shared hobby. While his favorite pork soup simmered over the campfire, I was sipping on my favorite strong canned drink. When the logs in the campfire crackled, he rummaged through a bag, pulled out a small box, and said,
This.
"What's this?"
It's a ring.
"A ring?"
Yeah, let's get married. It's about time we made it official, don't you think?
I guess it's about time for me too, so sure.
All right, it's settled then.
Yeah. Cheers. We were quite tipsy at the time. Looking back, I thought we could have done something a bit more special, but a celebrity-style proposal just wouldn't suit us. Perhaps this kind of proposal was just right for us. Sometime after the proposal day, Bob came to greet my parents at my home.
I'm nervous.
Just think of this as the first challenge and do your best. It's for us, after all.
Well, today is my challenge, but next time it's your turn.
Yeah. I'm fully prepared. I'll take today's experience with you as a reference.
Sheesh, you're as shrewd as ever.
Blame yourself for falling for such a woman. Look, you can see the house now.
All right. Let's do this with spirit.
Spirit is good, but make sure your appearance is neat too. Look, your tie. Saying that, I straightened and tightened his tie. Do I already sound like a wife? I was a bit pleased, but that's a secret from him. My parents' house is a standalone home in the suburbs. The house itself has 5 rooms, but the yard is quite spacious. My father has always loved the outdoors and met my mother while mountain hiking. That's probably why I also love the outdoors and took up camping as a hobby. To me, it's just a normal family. Currently, my father is retired but works at a relative's company.
I joined the company with enthusiasm, but I hardly get any significant work. Still, I get paid, so life is pretty cushy. Ha!
So he says. Well, both of my parents are healthy and cheerful, which I tell myself is a good thing. When we arrived at the house, my parents greeted us together at the door. Bob seemed really nervous.
Nice to meet you. I'm Bob.
Even saying his own name, which he must have said hundreds of times, came out with a stutter.
I'd like to ask for your permission to marry your daughter.
Even so, the way he conveyed his intentions to my parents was so cool that I fell for him all over with his resolute demeanor. My father smiled and joked.
Bob, are you sure about this girl? If you're okay with this, then by all means, go ahead.
What does he mean by this girl? My dad has always been like this.
Emma's getting married, huh? She'll be moving far away.
I was at a loss for words. My parents are always like this. Well, that's just how they are, so Bob's nervousness quickly faded, and what was supposed to be just a greeting turned into an invitation to stay for dinner, and then it spiraled into a full-blown party, ending with them insisting he stay the night. However, when my mother called his home to inform them he'd be staying, his father answered.
I appreciate the gesture, but we'll have to decline this time. Staying suddenly in a house we don't know, we might end up with some bizarre charges later. and we wouldn't know how to handle that.
Such a rude thing to say. I remember hearing that Bob's dad was the CEO of a pretty large company.
Bizarre charges.
My mother asked back.
Yes, I'm a CEO, and Bob is the son of a CEO. There are many out there eager to leech money from us, and it's a nuisance. I don't want any relations with those who have a beggar's mentality.
So, are you saying that we are those penniless beggars?
Anger was seeping through my mother's voice.
I'm saying there's a possibility.
Understood. Then I'll tell Bob to go home.
Yes, please do.
With that, the call ended.
Who does he think he is? So rude.
My mother was furious. What happened?
It's nothing. I kindly offered for Bob to stay, and his father accused me of trying to extort money.
Bob arrived at that moment.
I'm sorry. My parents have been scammed before, so they tend to be suspicious of people's kindness.
It's not your fault, Bob. Well, we'll just have to slowly build a good relationship. Today was fun. Please take good care of Emma.
My father was patting Bob's shoulder as he apologized. Ultimately, Bob did not stay the night and went back home. At that time, I still didn't know the true nature of Bob's father. And then, it was my turn. Bob's father was an entrepreneur who built his wealth from scratch. He inherited a small ironworks from his parents and, with his excellent management skills, grew it into a large machinery manufacturer. Of course, his parents' home was also luxurious. Surrounded by high walls, it was a 3-story building made of reinforced concrete. Seeing such a grand house could make one feel intimidated.
Now it's Emma's turn to be nervous.
Bob joked. Of course I'm nervous.
Look, there it is. Make sure you're well dressed.
Thanks. Nervous, I entered the house and greeted my MIL, Jessica, who led me to the sitting room. There sat my FIL, Tom. Jessica prompted me to sit down in front of Tom. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Emma. I am about to marry your son, Bob. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm Tom, Bob's father. Sorry to trouble you today. Well, I guess it's impossible not to be nervous, but make yourself comfortable.
Thank you very much. Meeting Bob's father for the first time. He had a rather stern look, and he seemed to be in a bad mood.
But let me ask you straight. What's your motive?
My motive?
To put it plainly, I'm the CEO of a major company. As you can see, I have considerable assets. I'm asking if that's your motive.
I was taken aback. Motive? The only purpose I can think of for marriage is that I love Bob and want to build a happy home together, yet here he is, conjuring up some far-fetched motives. No, I have not considered anything like that at all.
Excuse me, but what are your parents doing currently?
My father has retired and has taken a new job at my cousin's company, now working there. I'm not quite sure what he does, but he's happily employed. My mother is a homemaker, living healthily. Hearing this, Tom leaned back arrogantly. His arrogant posture made me furrow my brow in displeasure.
I see, but from what I hear, it doesn't sound like you come from a very wealthy background. What is your job?
Yes, I work in general affairs at a major trading company in the city.
General affairs isn't a career path where you can expect much advancement.
Well, yes, that's true.
So, you're planning to rely on Bob and me after getting married.
What? I blurted out in disbelief. What is this man talking about? At that point, my mindset switched. The whole polite and friendly greeting went right out the window. What do you mean by that? Tom said condescendingly.
just what I said. Your family is poor, and you're scheming to marry into wealth with my rich son, right? Your parents are also counting on my son for some extra money to enjoy their old age.
He even insulted my parents with such remarks. Unacceptable. What did you say? I couldn't help but raise my voice. There's a limit to how much you can look down on people. I could feel my face flushing with anger. Bob tried to intervene.
Dad, that's going too far. Her parents were nice people. When I went to greet them, they welcomed me warmly. They're not the type to aim for a marriage of convenience or to depend on others.
But his father brushed him off.
Be quiet. You are too naive, Bob. Let me handle this.
Then let me say something. I cut into their argument. Our family poor? Sure, we're not as wealthy as this house, but we live a decent, average life. And don't speak ill of my parents. I respect them. They are honorable people.
Hey, Emma, calm down.
Bob tried to calm me down in my heated state. But I silenced him just as Tom had silenced him. You be quiet. With that, Tom glared at me.
What I mean by poor is any family with less money than us. Marriage won't work if both aren't on the same level. People without money always expect handouts from the wealthy. You'll end up doing that too. It's inevitable. Is that right? You say it won't be like that now, but I know it will eventually.
This man, always making assumptions. Something inside me snapped. Fine, that's enough. I get it very clearly. Please go find someone wealthy to marry your son. Excuse me. I stood up.
Yo, do that. Mom, see her out. Sprinkle some salt after her.
While Bob and Jessica looked bewildered, I didn't look back and walked out of the house.
Wait a minute.
Bob hurried after me. I shouted back in outrage. No. I've had enough. What's with your dad? Looking down on us like we're beggars, it's the worst. Bob was really panicking in response to my furious state.
Let's just try again. My dad was just in a bad mood today.
I've had enough. Why do I have to be insulted like that? There's a limit to how much you can belittle someone.
Just calm down. Why don't you sit down and have some tea?
I was in no mood to cool down right now. I'm sorry, but I'm just not feeling up to it. I'm going home today. Don't contact me for a while.
Emma.
I shook off a clinging Bob and went home alone. After that, Bob called and emailed me numerous times, but I ignored all of his attempts. That day, as I got home angry, I told my parents everything that had happened.
That's a bit harsh. Does our family look that poor?
My father made a face as if he was chewing on a bitter bug.
That's terrible. Bob is a good person, and even the phone call before was bad, but this was even worse.
My mother was astonished.
So, what are you going to do? Are you thinking of breaking up with Bob?
Well, no. I still like Bob, and I want to marry him.
I see. Why don't you take some time to cool off, and then try meeting him again? If things still aren't going well, I'll step in.
Really?
Yes. For my darling daughter. No big deal.
My father was kind and reassuring. Hearing my father's words, my mother gave me some advice.
It seems they don't know much about us, so make sure you explain things properly.
Persuaded by my parents, I decided to meet Bob's parents again. I resumed contact with Bob and asked him to let me meet his parents again. Bob was delighted and quickly arranged it. It felt like the bell for round 2 was ringing. The opponent was formidable. Am I Don Quixote heading towards a giant windmill, or am I a hero fighting a villain? The meeting at Bob's house was set for Saturday on the weekend. Though a showdown sounds like a Friday thing, for me, it was Saturday. Finally, Saturday came. I was restless all morning, watching the clock and waiting for the appointed time. When the time came, I met up with Bob and we headed to his parents' house. Entering the house, Tom was sitting in the living room, just like before. "Hello, long time no see." I greeted him. Tom still looked at me as if I were an annoyance.
What? You're back again.
"Yes, not giving up is my motto," I replied with a smile. Of course, Tom's attitude didn't change.
No matter how many times you come, my mind won't change. You're wasting your time.
I can't just accept that. I have my own pride and determination. Hearing this, Tom's annoyed demeanor shifted to a dismissive one.
Do whatever you want. So, do you have something to say?
I once again voiced my request to marry. "Yes, please allow me to marry Bob."
No, I won't let my Bob marry a poor person.
The expected response came. "I've said it many times, but we are not poor." "Are you really that wealthy, Tom, to be calling people poor?" It was time for a counterattack. I challenged Tom with a question.
What did you say? I took over my father's company, which had 20 employees, and expanded it to include subsidiaries with 2,000 employees. That's 100-fold increase. How can you say that I, the president of such a respectable company, am not wealthy?
"Oh really, and?"
And are you mocking me? Our annual sales have increased from $1 million to over $100 million now.
"Isn't that just about the company? That's not your money, right?" "Exactly, it's the company that's big, not you." I hurled the argument I had been brooding over since the furious drive home at Tom. It hit a sore spot, and Tom started yelling.
What are you trying to say? Stop taking me lightly. If you want to convince me, prove that you're wealthier than me.
"Is money the only measure of a person? That's not right. The value of a person is not measured by money." As I countered, Tom's voice grew even louder.
That's something a poor person would say. If you're so desperate for money, just say it. I'll give you the money, but don't ever come here again.
That sounds exactly like something a nouveau riche would say. It suits you perfectly.
Hey, Emma, stop it. Dad's embarrassing himself, just stop.
Bob tried to intervene as Tom and I escalated.
Stay out of this.
No, this is fundamentally about me and Emma.
Shut up. I need to make this poor girl understand my greatness.
As Tom grew more agitated, I showed no signs of backing down. Exactly, I need to put this know-nothing in his place. I won't marry until this is settled.
Really, we came here to announce our marriage. How did it come to this?
Bob was at his wit's end.
What a rude girl. I'd like to see what her parents are like.
Oh, is that so? Then I'll accommodate your request. Next time, I'll bring my parents.
Bring them. I want to see the kind of parents who raised such a rude daughter. They must be just as rude.
Tom scoffed at that. Why did someone like Bob come from parents like you? It must be because Jessica's genes are superior.
Oops, I got a compliment. Thank you, Emma.
Jessica was delighted.
Hey, why are you happy about this?
After scolding Jessica, Tom turned to me.
Enough. You're not worth talking to. Let's have a thorough discussion when your parents come. A daughter like you doesn't belong in this house.
What an outrageous thing to say. But before I could get angry, Bob was furious.
How dare you say such things? I no longer consider you a parent. I'm cutting ties with you.
Should I get a divorce too? You're always saying such awful things. I don't want to be with you.
Jessica nonchalantly threw that in too. When I got home, I told my parents everything that had happened. After hearing it all, my father sighed and said,
So it has come to this. Well, if that's what he wants, let's meet him.
Yes, Dad, you tell them off, but I'd like to meet Bob's mother. She doesn't seem like a stranger to me.
You better not come. It'll only complicate things.
Oh, but I want to go.
My mother started looking forward to possibly becoming friends with Bob's mother. No way. Mom, your pace will dampen the angry mood. That's too bad. I just wanted to help you.
I'm thinking of your sake.
My mom pretended to cry, feeling frustrated.
By the way, what was the name of Bob's father again?
It was Tom, I believe.
Tom. Tom?
My dad started to scratch his head as he heard Tom's name. It seemed a bit odd, and I asked my dad while nodding. Yes, that's right. Dad, do you know him?
No, something is nagging at me. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
My dad continued to look puzzled.
Come on, are you getting senile?
Mom joked.
Oh, that's right. It's that guy, that jerk.
It seemed he finally remembered. Wait, he knows him? The world seems large, but is unexpectedly small, and I was surprised by such a coincidence. What, Dad, you know him?
Well, yes. Something like that. Now then, Emma, can you contact Bob's dad for me?
Sure, is next Saturday okay?
Yes, that's fine. Also, I'll be a bit late. So can you go ahead first?
What? Aren't we going together? I was surprised to hear we wouldn't be going together as I had assumed.
Hell, the main character should make a grand entrance at the end.
All right, got it. I didn't know what Dad was planning, but I decided to leave it to him. And then the day of the showdown arrived.
I'll be a bit late as planned. I'll contact you when I get there. Hang in there until then.
That's what Dad told me. As autumn deepened, it was time for the third visit. Upon arriving at Bob's house, I greeted briefly and was shown into the living room. There, as usual, Tom sat with a bitter expression. Hello, Jessica. I hope we can have a good day today.
Welcome, Emma. Your father is here today, right? What does he like to drink?
Jessica seemed cheerful. Seeing Jessica made me feel a bit more at ease.
No need to prepare any drinks. Or rather, you're here again. It's the third time now. Our fancy drinks are too good for the likes of a poor person.
Jessica, thank you for your consideration. But it's all right for now.
So, where is your father? Got cold feet, huh?
Tom was still condescending. No, he just has some preparations and will be a bit late. I apologize.
Well, it doesn't matter. Nothing will change when he gets here.
Bob rebuked Tom's attitude with a bit of irritation. I thought to myself, Bob really has it tough.
It's my marriage, after all. Dad shouldn't be fussing about it.
Tom seemed unaffected by those words. Tom responded dismissively.
Nonsense. I'm just trying to do what's best for you.
Bob responded with dissatisfaction.
That's none of your business.
As this barely constructive conversation went on, I received a message from my father. I just got a call from my father. He has arrived. Then, the doorbell rang.
Excuse me for intruding.
It was my father's voice.
Oh, welcome. It's been a while.
Jessica made a somewhat strange greeting. It's been a while? But it's supposed to be the first meeting between you and my father. I was puzzled. Then,
Well, I'm glad you remembered me. Anyway, excuse my interruption. Today, I am here as Emma's father, John.
Oh no, we've all been waiting for you. Please, this way.
Thank you very much.
after such exchanges, my father was led to the living room.
Hey, Tom. Long time no see.
As my father entered, Tom suddenly stood up straight.
You are Major John. I mean, you were a colonel before you retired. My apologies, Colonel John. It's been a long time.
He saluted. Of course, since it's indoors and he's without a cap, it was an informal salute with hands by his sides and head bowed slightly forward. Bob and I couldn't grasp what was happening.
Don't be so formal. The days when I was a colonel and you were a sergeant major are long gone. Plus, this is your house, isn't it? You've climbed the ranks quite a bit. I guess I did a good job training you.
Sir, well, I apologize for the austere setting, but please have a seat.
Thanks. You sit down too. Everyone will be more comfortable if you are not standing.
Sir, I will take my seat, then.
Saying this, Tom sat down, but unlike before, he was sitting formally on his knees. Dad, you know Bob's father? This situation was so unexpected, I had to confirm.
Yes? Back when I was in the military. This Tom came as a new recruit.
Unlike my casually speaking father, Tom, who had been quite pompous until now, shrank and hunched over.
Yes, I was under your care back then.
What a coincidence to meet like this, isn't it? Now you're a company president. That dropout has made quite the climb.
Sir, I apologize for any trouble during my military days. After leaving the military, I took over my father's company, and with everyone's help, I got to where I am today.
Tom was apologizing repeatedly throughout the conversation. He's like one of those nodding toys. Unperturbed, my father indulged in nostalgia.
That bumbling recruit has become a president. Good for you.
Sir, can we please not talk about the past?
I actually wanted to hear more about those old days. I asked my father, "Hey, is a sergeant major important? You were a colonel, right?"
Yes, a sergeant major would be like a department head in a company. I was, well, a higher rank than that.
Tom nodded vigorously.
Sir, I had no idea that Bob's partner would be the daughter of Colonel John.
My father chuckled warmly.
Drop the ranks. I'm retired now. Just a civilian.
To that, Tom responded with embarrassment.
Sir, I will keep that in mind.
And so, my father straightened up a bit, almost looking down on Tom, who was cowering.
I've heard various stories from my daughter. Ever since then, you've had this strange fixation with social hierarchy. I told you to stop it, but you're still at it. And I hear you've been looking down on my daughter, calling her poor?
Exactly right. Tom shrank even more.
Yes, I am truly sorry.
No, since I retired, I've been involved with a company you might have heard of, called Heavy Industries. Yeah, that's the company that makes tanks like the ones you use to drive. The president is my cousin, and we have ties from the military. Now, I'm the director and head of the technical development department.
Again, my father mentioned a connection. That made Tom's eyes widen.
What? As Heavy Industries?
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, Our company and yours had a business relationship.
Yes, as Heavy Industries is a major client of ours, and we are always very grateful for their business.
I didn't come here to talk business, but it seems we might need to reconsider some things.
The pressure from my father looking down was palpable, and Tom bowed his head even more. For me, who had been looked down upon and even told he wanted to see what kind of parents raised such a person, it was truly a refreshing moment.
No, that would be very problematic.
At that response, my father's tone became a bit harsher.
Then, shouldn't you as a parent be blessing Bob and Emma's marriage? We're not as poor as you claim.
Yes, you're right. I'm very sorry for my rude behavior.
Tom deeply apologized while still kneeling.
That settles it then. Bob, Emma, there's nothing standing in the way of your marriage now.
My father looked relieved and turned towards us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bob expressed his gratitude, clearly delighted. Thank you, Dad. I also thanked him. Without my father, this outcome might never have been possible. I really felt grateful that he was there. Tom remained bowed. Jessica seemed to enjoy using the term Sergeant Major Tom as she ordered Tom around with her hands on her hips.
Sergeant Major Tom, you will recognize their marriage now.
You two? What are you saying?
Tom was now subdued. My dad looked at me, gave a thumbs up, and winked. And so, Bob and I were able to have our wedding without any issues. Many of my father's university classmates attended the reception. My father graduated from the Defense Academy. Everyone there, who had held high ranks in the military, teased the standing at attention Sergeant Major Tom. During the wedding entertainment, my father's classmates performed something called the military exercise. Of course, Sergeant Major Tom was in charge of leading it, and he was made to participate at the front. Watching these grown men sweat through the exercise, Bob and I couldn't help but laugh. Since that incident, whenever Jessica has a request for Tom, she calls him Sergeant Major Tom and speaks in a commanding tone. Now, she seems to have the upper hand. I'm living a happy life with Bob. We've been blessed with 2 sons. My father adores his grandchildren and gets all mushy when he sees them. One day, when a friend of my father's from the same period visited, he chuckled at the sight of my father's doting demeanor.
The Demon John, they called him.
Today, as usual, my father and the kids are playing heroes in the garden.
Hiya! Miracle beam. BZZZZ.
I'm hit.
My father and the boys were all covered in mud. Really, such boys. I said, laughing along with my mother. Boys, you might just become real heroes one day. Keep it up. The heroes of the future.